In the previous videos, we covered SQL arithmetic and string functions. In this video, we will cover date and time functions. Okay, so this is the table we are going to use for our date. And if we want to know the current date and time, let's start with the first one. Select GETDATE and simply highlight and run that. So that's the date today, 31st of Jan 2024, and the local time is 21:07 p.m. If you are working with the large data set and in the date column there are some entries which you believe are incorrect data, you can flag the incorrect entries. Okay, let's copy that and select from procedure date. Right, okay. So if we highlight, run that. So we have seen our dates in there. We can use a function called isDate. That's the function we're going to use. Copy the procedure date column, paste it one more time. We will need a comma, isDate, and then that goes in a bracket. Give an alias, and then we can say this is date flag. So we are flagging the incorrect dates. Run this, and you can see where it is showing 1, that's the correct date, but where it is showing 0 is incorrect date, as you can see on your screen. Right, but one important point to remember is this function doesn't work with SQL DATETIME2 data type. Okay, so let's look with an example. Select, so we are going to put a string in there, 2024 01-01 21 25 39 1 2 3. Yeah, just put 1 2 3, that'll be fine. Okay, that's our first string, and then we use the function called isDate. And what if we highlight and copy that and paste inside this function and call it as datetime? Right, okay, and we type 2024 01-01 21 25 39, and then if we put in milliseconds or nanoseconds 1 2 3 4 5 and use it again, this function isDate, copy and paste inside this function. And call this DATETIME2. So DATETIME2. If we run these two, as you can see, is the same number of characters, 1st of Jan 2024, and we just put a random time, 25:09 p.m. and 39 seconds and 0.123. So it worked on with this date and time, and it brought back 1, means like it recognized this as correct date. But when we put 0.12345, it has become DATETIME2 data type. On this occasion it brought back 0, saying like this is not our proper date. Right, if we want to know the month, year and day of a certain month or year, how we can do that? for that is select, let's do select all from that's our database. Okay, and let's drag one of the tables from here, fact from the fact proc. Bring fact proc table. So that's the data we got in here. And what do we need? Copy and paste. In the first column, we would need the proc procedure, proc start, date and time. So we can use that column, copy and paste again, and the function we're going to use called day function. Close it and then copy and paste 2 more times. Right, so call it as day, as month, so that's the alias we're given, and a year. We run this code. It shows day 1, so that's 01. The month, oh sorry, because I haven't changed my function, month, and this is year. Right, okay, let's try one more time. Right, okay, so day 1, so that's 01, that's the first day of the month. Month number is 9, so that's that, and the year 2001, so that's that. Similarly, day 1, day 24, that's 24. For the second month, 24th of February 2007 is that. Right. Similarly, if you want an output of month, year and day of the month as a string data type, if you want that, then copy it and paste it here. Now the function we are going to use is called DATENAME function, and inside we are going to put weekday, comma, right, and there'll be a day. In fact, let's copy this one more time. We need another column. Okay, so we will call this day rather than weekday, so that's a day. Get rid of that parentheses and put a comma in there, in there as well, and put the bracket outside, and we can write date name there and date name there too. Right, okay, so if we run this code, now you can see what's the difference. Right, okay, date name, first one weekday, so it was Saturday. 1st of September 2001 was a Saturday, so that shows there. 1st of October 2022 was a Tuesday, so that's the name of the name of the day of each week. Second one is day, so it cannot be like a string character, so that's why I brought back 1 and 24 and that. Then the next one is month, so it has, if we run the previous code, if you remember, it brought back the number of the month and not the name of the month, but on this occasion it has brought back the name of the month, which is September, instead of 09 or 10 for October, February, October, Jan, and so on. last one is the year, so here is going to be year. There will be no like string characters for year or day, so it brought back them as a data type string, but they look like numbers. But for the day of the week and name of the month are in like a character form, in a string format, which we can read on our screen. Right, let's move on to some exciting stuff and look at some of the frequently used datetime functions. The first one we are going to learn is called DATEPART functions, means part of the date. Okay, so if we copy that again, paste it here, and instead of date name, call it DATEPART. In fact, get rid of that, and from here we say part. That's DATEPART, and also DATEPART, that one. We run now. Okay, so this is the part of the date. So this is the beginning. We have just taken the part of this date, day, month, and year, and then which we are going to use in our future calculations. So this is the first function we learned. Right, let's look at a scenario where the surgeon wants to see the patients after the operation. And let's see what have we got in our factproc table first. Copy that and select two of the columns. Proc was type, and then there was proc description. So if we look at these two columns, right, let's use distinct, and it will show only unique values. Right, so we have diagnostic and surgery procedure type, and then we have 10 different types of procedure descriptions in our data. So that's what we got. Okay. Let's copy this, paste it here. We probably won't need distinct, but we would probably need the patient ID column. Put a comma there, bring this down. Okay, so we are going to use case statement, which we learned in previous chapters. If you want to have a look at it, you can go and watch that video if you want to learn case statement. Case when procedure description column we're going to use. Procedure description is equal to angioplasty, then the function we're going to use is called DATEADD, and what we're going to add is day, and we are going to use 21 days into proc date, and close this parenthesis. Copy that code, and which we are going to paste a few times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times at least. Other than angioplasty, we have diagnostic scan. Okay, second one is bypass operation. Let's do procedure type wise, and there will be, let's say the surgeon wants to see the patient after 45 days. Then there is knee replacement, paste it here, and there will be, instead of a day, surgeon wants to see the patient after 1 month, and after that is valve repair. Copy that and paste in here instead of angioplasty. let's say it's not significant. Surgeon wants to see after 1 year maybe. Then is tumor removal, based here, and for the tumor removal, let's see, the surgeon wants to see the patient after nearly 2 years, and there is some minor operations, and for those maybe after a little longer, that's, let's say, 5 years. Okay, right, and then we need to end our case statement, and we call it next medical appointment date. Right, okay, so if we just simply run this code, so as you can see, right, okay, we need to use a where clause to get rid of all those unwanted rows of data. Proc type equal to surgery, so we don't need for our diagnostic patient only surgery, surgeries, ERY, surgery. Okay, run that. Right, okay, so we haven't taken care of kidney stone, have we? Okay, let's quickly do it. It will look good in there. Okay, kidney stone, Control-C, so that's not left out. Control-V, and then if the kidney stone also, let's say 1 year maybe, and now we can run that and see. Okay, right, for the tumor removal, for this patient, the next appointment date will be on the 1st of September 2003. Okay, I think we probably need to bring our proc date as well, so at least we can check when the procedure was performed. So proc date, there you go. Okay, right, right, okay, so the procedure was performed on 1st of September 2001, and because tumor removal, which was 2 years, and exactly on the 1st of September 2003 was the patient's next appointment. Similarly, bypass operation 29th of Jan 2021, and the patient's next appointment was 15th of March 2021. So the patient had kidney stone removal last year, 16th of Jan, and they had their follow-up appointment on 16th of Jan 2024. If we want to, we can make it even in the future. So that's 2 years, and if we run it now, right now, so this patient will see the surgeon after 2 years, which will be on 16th of Jan 2025. Right. If you want to know how many days a patient stayed in hospital, you can also find that out. What have we got in here? Select all from effect admission. Right, so what we got in here is patient ID, when the patient was admitted, when the patient was discharged, and the ward ID, ID of the ward where they were admitted. So we want to know how many days the patient stayed in hospital. Okay, their stay length, we can find that out. First of all, we bring some of the columns in here, patient ID, then we bring admit date time, this is when they were admitted. Next is this discharge date time, and finally we are going to find out stays length and for that we are going to use a function called DATEDIFF. DATEDIFF, in other words, difference in date. Okay, so we are looking the difference between their admission date. So we copy that, paste in here, then we need a comma, and the second date we want to look at, the difference is discharge date. Now we need to provide, we need to put a comma there, and we need to provide either day or month or year, you know, which units we want to look at the difference. So we call it day. Okay, so we want to see, we give an alias, stay in days, right? Okay, so if we just run this code, patient ID, when they were admitted, when they were discharged, and how many days they stayed in hospital. 4th of September 2001 till 8th of September 2001. So they stayed for 4 days, 5 days, 10 days, 15, and so on. This is how we can do that. You can also find out how many months or year between the two dates. If you want to do that, just copy that code again and paste it here. Right, okay. So we can copy that code and paste 2 and 3 times. The first one, the difference was day. The next one is month, and the third one is year. Okay, so if we run this and see our patient stayed for how long, right? Some of the patients, majority of the patients, they stayed for only for a few days. This guy, this one, number 8, row number 8, stayed for a month, 1 month and 15 days. Let's see if anybody stayed for even longer. Yeah, this guy. So this patient stayed for 1 year. We still need to change this to month, so it's not confusing anymore. And that's year, in years and in months. Right, okay. So if we run that, this guy, number 22, stayed 1 year, 2 months and 37 days. We can also use a different argument here rather than discharge date. Let's say if we use get date instead of discharge date. Copy this and then paste it here and paste it there. Rather than admit, we use discharge because that information might be useful for some people if they want to know when they were discharged from hospital, how many days, months or years it's been, so they can find out by using this code. So run this code, highlight and run. Right, so our first patient stayed these many days in hospitals, 8,180, that makes 268 months, that's 23 years, long time. 22 years, 17, 7, this guy only 1 year. So this is how you can find out the difference between 2 days if you want to know in days, months or year. If you want to calculate the age of each patient, right, that's interesting to find out the age of the patient. For that, let's use the data where we can get the date of birth of the patients. So that would be in our which table? That will be in our patient table. So .dbo, that's the schema. And then let's see in DIMPAT, that's patient table. Select all from the patient. Right, so first column is the patient ID, their title, forename, surname, their gender, date of birth, address, the city where they live, their postal zip code, and their country. Right, okay, so we want to know the age. Copy that code, paste it here, and then bring back some of the required useful columns. Patient ID can be useful. Then we need date of birth of the patient, DOB, date of birth. Right, okay, so let's first of all do the DATEDIFF function here, and year, we want to know in year, that's date of birth, and finally from which date, let's say from today's date, so we do GETDATE, which is today's date, and that'll be the age. Right, okay. So our first patient, 58 years old, 55, 76, 70, 24, 25, 44, and so on. So that's how we can calculate the age of anybody. Okay, let's verify if the calculated age is correct. Okay, so how we can do that? Copy that code, paste it here, and so we can call this one calculated age. Next is we use DATEADD function. So we are adding two dates together. We are adding year, and then just copy and paste this part after that. And here we are going to add the date of birth. Right, okay, so let's look at this again. So this part of the code, this one, which we already ran, this is our calculated age. So this is our calculated age. So this code we put in there. This is our calculated date. So calculated age, we are going to add those many years, for example 58 years or 76 years, we are adding these two columns together. So this date of birth column is this one, that one, and our age is calculated here, that one there, and then we are saying we are adding the date, two dates in years and not months or days. So this is our, we can say, date of birth plus we are adding calculated age. Right, okay, making this smaller, calculated age. Now if we run this and see, right, 6th of June 2024, right, okay, according to our verification, this calculation is incorrect because this patient is not 58 years old yet. Because if the patient were 58 years old, this should be today's date, and because we have used GETDATE, so this should have been today's date, but this date is in future. So this patient or person will become 58 years old on 6th of June 2024. So that's incorrect. Next one, that's incorrect too, because that's 6th of the 6th again, so that's not possible. This one on 1st of the 1st 2024, I mean this is not right as well. And then this one is 21st of November 2024. Okay, so if that's the case, how we can calculate the correct age of the person? For that we need to use a case statement. Okay, let's copy this code and paste it here. Now we need to use a case statement to create a new column. Right, when this part, the calculated age and that, all of that, copy that code and paste it here. So we are saying when this date of birth plus calculated age is greater than get date, which is what we are saying. If it is after today's date, then what we need, call then we say it will be DATEDIFF. So there will be difference in year, date of birth, comma, get date. Is that -1? That's that. Okay, copy that code, Control-C, and paste it here. And now, rather than we say greater than get date, it's less than get date. And get rid of this -1. We need to end our case statement and give it a meaningful name. Call it exact age. Okay. Right. If we run this code, right, the first one, we calculated this patient's age as 58 years old, but as we knew, the patient will be 58 years old on 6th of June 2024. Again, this one 55, but this will be again on 6th of June. This one 76, which is correct because the patient's already been 76. The birthday was 1st of the 1st Jan. This guy, again, we calculated 70 years, but this patient will become 70 on 21st of November. But this is our exact age, which we calculated using the case statement. So this is 57 years old, this is 54 years old. This one, no difference because the date of birth has already gone, and that was 1st of the 1st, 2024. This one, again, we calculated incorrectly. This is 69 years old. Again, this one is 24, but in fact, this guy is only 23 years of age. So this is how we can calculate the exact age. Right, that's date and time functions covered. Thanks for watching this video. In our next video, we will learn SQL conversion functions. So stay with me.